winning out these team fights. Now you start to see the duplicates coming online. Pelican very close to building up this self-destruct. Finally he's got it going, so he's going to be sending that straight across. Choi ends up going down. That's a nice little play to open things up here. No one in control of the point yet. As a reminder, the recall comes down. I think that did some damage to Smurf. 1 HP, so low. He's going to get brought down, as well as Edison is just cleaning up.
Amazing performance by Pelican in this opening fight. Nero's duplicate was too late in the engagement. It couldn't generate them enough value. And Striker used his Death Blossom as well. But it all
can't quite escape from it. They've corralled them into the corner. Can they capitalize off of it? Cleaving through them. Hawk eventually going to be following up as well as he dives in. Smurf committing that Primal Rage a little bit earlier. Will he stay alive? Not quite. Edison was there to try and shut him down, and the point's still in control as he's going to be duplicating over to the Diva and building up that ultimate shortly. Sends in the bomb into the backlines. Will it get any value? Not
Edison.
Quite. It forces the Atlanta Reign to push forwards, and that might just have worked out in their favor. The Death Blossom, not enough defense matrix to eat that one up. Choi D-Mech, the overtime will burn, but the Shock no closer to really taking this one. Smurf trying to even it out with that Primal Rage, but he's forced and pressured away from the point by taking way too much damage. And Pelican, that is going to be a lot of damage being done there. The overtime still burning, but it is inevitable here that the Atlanta Reign are going to be holding on to that, and that is 100-0 in the initial round. Opportunity that the Atlanta Reign can capitalize off, but they are just trading chip damage for the time being, trying to build up these ultimates quickly.
Oh, Striker falls. That is such a crucial pick for Pelican. It opens it up for him to try and take down Nero on the other side. But if D-God finds Massa, and Violet has been able to generate this ultimate charge extraordinarily quickly, if he can keep Smurf alive, they might try and turn this with Cole.
Yep, Coalescence comes through, but Violet gets taken down. That is a tragic mistake right there. You never want to see that, because guess what? Iris, he's holding on to the...
This engagement from the Shock should be excellent.
Massive sound barrier connects onto 4, but it's slightly better from FD God. In fact, Nero also committing that duplicate. He's going to be sending in the self-destructs. Pelican sends it in, as well as Hawk. Way too much to deal with. Bright lights on the point, pushing them back, potentially turning this point in favor now for the Shock. There's going to be nobody. Now we see Nero just trying to put in, again, that spam, trying to build up the duplicate, the Coalescence to lead it in, but Edison TP'd into the back. The timing on that was impeccable. Violet gets taken out in the middle of the Coalescence, completely removing that ultimate from the fight, but he didn't have the Reform. He just sits and watches the bomb. It's going to be flipping the point anyway over to the Atlanta Reign, especially now.
Here we go, the duplicate comes out early on from Nero. And again, the backline punished.
Violet
Pelican
ends up going down.
A menace in the skies.
Beautiful work that's coming out here from the Atlanta Reign. Pelican again with the remake kill onto Nero. It's a clean.
That's insane echo diff.
Soundbarrier comes through, FD got dives with the beat. That could be the kill that really just ends it here. The point has to be played here by Smurf. He has the Primal Rage to try and keep this one going. Death Blossom in the backline. That's Striker actually trying to make it work for them with the Coalescence as well. You are kidding me. You cannot tell me that the Shock have found it in here. Edison using his own Death Blossom, but he's going to get brought down momentarily. And the Shock just about holding on, clawing back. Has to contest, he leaps in, drops the bubble, but it's burst almost immediately as it's sent back down. Now Nero moving over to the Winston, does not build up that Primal Rage. In fact, they pressure him out and they push him off to the sidelines, only to remove him from the fight once again. Self-destruct from Choi goes down, and well, the recall onto the mech takes out Gator, but I don't think it's going to be enough. They've already boosted right into the backline. Pelican doing all sorts of nasty work. The overtime will burn once more, but eventually whittles down to now. Trying to rotate in and out the position, trying to regenerate a couple of these shields as well. But Pelican now back into the fight. The grass comes up by Choi. He's going to eat up a ton of that damage, but too little too late. FD God will fall, and now the beam from the backline. Pelican will not be stopped. That is immense. And the Atlanta Reign come in with a fantastic game plan of how they're going to be approaching that attack.
It might seem weird to people at home watching San Francisco's rotation there be so slow, but they had to give those...
Looks like they're opting just for the main approach. What a wall from Nero. It denies the bomb. They knew exactly what they were going for. That is magical from Nero, but the bomb is still doing damage. You got to respect it. It kills FD God. They need to respect this. Kai with 3 pickoffs now. Pelican as well moving over to the Orisa. He's laid down the supercharger, and it's in prime position to set up Atlanta Reign for an absolute stonker of a time. No one's touching that in the slightest. 4 minutes, 20.
Immortality field? I don't believe it did. I think he still has that available. And Matrix popped down as well, doing so much damage to Smurf.
Smurf dies. Yep, Smurf just gets evaporated. And the Atlanta Reign have got so much damage to work with. And this is what these comps are so good at. We've seen it previously, but when you're running these Orisa compositions, has to be big. Yeah, both Echo's going to be duplicating over to the D.Va, just trying to build up those bombs. Nero, oh my goodness, dangerously close to getting demeched. And look at that, the bomb comes through. It's going to be connecting as well as that Coalescence pushes the targets out. Kai's going to be in a bit of trouble here, and that Coalescence still active, ends up just catching and clipping onto Massa, taking him out of the fight. The Shock eventually batter through, but at what cost? That time bank just got whittled. Yeah, it's such a powerful combination here. The Coalescence is ready and waiting. Violet now opts to use it. It's going to be hunting the targets into the backline. And Matrix comes out as a response here. Doesn't even need it. Pelican just being pocketed in the back actually took out Nero there. Now the Coalescence has faded, and Atlanta Reign have bought enough time. They haven't even given up any progress whatsoever. Pelican with the self-destruct comes down. It's going to be the fade dodge there by Violet to stay alive. Doesn't have it for the remainder of this fight, but it might not matter yet. Still, Pelican alive in the backline. Violet just going to be beaming him down there with the right clicks, but the Atlanta Reign have bought enough time. Gator did not fall. Try and even it out. Nero moving over to the Orisa. Might have a supercharger of their own, but Bob is just contesting up the point. Look at him, shredding Nero. He doesn't have the shield off. He's just being absolutely obliterated off at the side. The Immortality Field was sent flying straight out into the middle of the point, but with Striker going down, the Shock are missing again. Even more damage that could have been outputted. It's all on Nero. Very, very low though, and Kai, look at those shots. Flick of the wrist, FD got fallen. 30 seconds remaining. The Shock forced to disengage, forced to rethink how to take in this fight, because
again, with the Ant Matrix, the ult coordination and the slowing of the tempo has been phenomenal from Atlanta.
Yep, the Shock try and coordinate the bomb, but they cannot withstand this damage that's coming through. Another Ant Matrix from the back. That is monstrous to try and push into. The overtime goes down, but it will not. Yeah, Choi has a bit of life to him. FD goes down. That's the sticky bombs coming through. Pelican at the off angle. The Dragon Strike as well. It's forced the Shock into the staircase. Gravitic Flux comes off onto the side here. Pelican just trying to basically keep them trapped in. The Shock rotating up to the high ground, but they weren't ready for this. The Accretion knocking them to the low ground as well. This has been entirely set up off the back of Pelican's individual performances. We'll see if Glister's able to try and clutch it up. He sends in the bot, but that res will not be denied. Hawk back in the action. He's on the high ground alone. Glister has to back off here.
Except at the final moment, he got stunned out of it. Nero really weak here as well, unable to reconnect with FD God, and this should seal the deal there. Kai with the Storm Arrows takes out Glister, and all of this being supercharged. Oh, yeah. An enormous amount of damage flooding out of the Atlanta Reign, pouring into the Shock, and they will take checkpoint A. But nevertheless, Brendan, it was a valiant attempt. They try and just go for the payload as they are now. Atlanta can just drop Hawk. What a lovely off angle though from Nero, putting in enormous amounts of damage there onto Hawk.
Violet goes down. Laid down the Ant Matrix. It might set his team up for a little bit of success, but they're being pushed back in the end. Pelican is there again. It's copied up the Sigma. Ends up using that Gravitic Flux. I mean, I am quite impressed with Pelican's mechanics, even on the Sigma.
So
this guy, you can tell he's put so much
checkpoint A. Because they pushed into the point and were in a spawn queue, Atlanta Reign took the high ground, and they've just rolled this momentum forwards. That was Choyobin cancelling his Flux in the middle of it. Beamed out of the air by Pelican. Pelican is on an absolute tear right now. He is eviscerating the San Francisco Shock with this Echo Pit.
And the Shock again in that classic Shock fashion, investing the ultimates, trying to salvage it. Bob came out at the end there. Glister not going to be getting any of the Shock in the slightest. And you can see Nero again putting in that chip damage, but FD God falls again. A reoccurring theme going out for them. Nero locked up by the Halt there. The Dragon Strike going to be doing a decent chunk of the damage to contribute to that kill. It feels like there's no end to this.
It is a team difference, Brent, but it feels like he's only got 13%. This is barely a flank. He's just going to tickle them from behind, and that's the try shot again from Pelican.
Yep, Glister falls. The res does come off though. Super back into the fight. Super's got to do magic here, but what more can you do when you're playing the Warhorse? Not too much. And Matrix into the back. Violet now going to be putting in that damage still. The tank line of the Shock alive and waiting. Pelican with that duplicate. The beam into the back. No one's taking care of him. He's done so much damage to them. 2 minutes remaining. That will be pushed into the finish line. The Atlanta Reign are looking elite. Pelican just going to be laying down the damage. The sticky bombs, the Halt into the Accretion. Oh my word. FD God deleted. Just taken out straight away. The Shock though not going to be giving up just yet. They're pressing forwards. The Ant Matrix is laid down, but Violet wasn't caring of his surroundings. Didn't really know that Pelican was going to be taking that kind of approach. And now Well, it means the Atlanta Reign can just walk straight over them.
Nobody is looking at Pelican.
When he try and lock all up the players of the Atlanta Reign, but he's been forced out of it so quickly. Again, the DPS taking these off angles. Gravitic Flux, is anybody going to be able to touch this from the Atlanta Reign? Gravitic Flux comes up, nobody touches. A bit of a mistake there coming out from the Atlanta Reign. They had the damage and the players to try and win that team fight out, but a slight misstep. And they end up giving the point away here to the San Francisco Shock.
That is
Get taken out of that form. There we go, the damage is done. But now he's moving forwards, wants to apply a bit of pressure. That is hubris, it feels like. And the Shock sailing this one forwards, Josh.
You give them an inch, they take a mile. Shock, they got their toes into the front door with that C9 on checkpoint A. And now they're doing a great job of pushing it forwards. They punished
Kai?
Pelican when he went for the play. Surely Kai was
Kai?
Win this out. Surely not. That actually... He found enough
there from the Shock. It's bought them a win con. It's bought them an opportunity now. 3 minutes pushing this in. Iris goes down. That's Bob just absolutely obliterating him.
Atlanta Reign, they feel rattled right now. They know that they should have been able to put up a defense, but this is not it. Atlanta are getting snowballed, horrifically bullied back to their spawn doors. Kai
here for the Shock. And this Gravitic Flux going to be built up. Look at the shots coming through. Pelican is trying to make it work, but there's only so much he can do. Choi with the Gravitic Flux, it's good. Catches onto a lot of these targets, Bob included. And Accretion, Bob actually ended up taking and tanking a lot of it. So the Atlanta Reign are still in this one. Kai putting in that consistent work that he's been doing all series long. And they're going to be able to offset that Amp Matrix that was put out. Incredibly well versed, I think, when it's running this Orisa. Still the Shock looking to try and take this fight forwards now with the Amp Matrix dropped. Gator, that's, yeah, okay, the damage boost coming through. Quick little headshots coming through. Again, the Atlanta Reign, though, answering with ultimates of their own. Hawk with that Gravitic Flux. Didn't get exactly what he was looking for, but he's definitely pushed them off for now. And Glister still taking this off angle. Bob also doing a decent job of putting a lot of pressure into the back line, but it will not be enough. And staggered kills now for the Shock. That is a dangerous scenario to be in here.
Massive chance.
We'll see if they can do it. Super. Again, the drums go down, but they're deleted straight away. And look at this off angle. Kai pushing deep in. The Immortality Field is going to be saving Super's life. Great reactions there from Violet. Glister trying his hardest. Pelican still putting in the work. Trying to build up that Gravitic Flux. Moving into the back. The res comes out, so Glister back in the action. But the tanks of the Shock are so low. It's been forced down to the overtime now. Glister now from the high ground, following up on a lot of that work that's been put in. Troy definitely setting his team up to succeed here. But Bob on the point is going to be buying them time. Eventually removed. And Hawk, one of the last ones standing that really can stop this cart moving forwards. It won't be enough. Be moving over now to the stall heroes, as you see Gator just trying to make it work in the end, but ultimately will not be enough for them. And that's going to be the overtime push for the Shock, capturing with the damage that was coming through. Now the Amp Matrix built up quickly. They need to get a pick off of this, but the Shock are forced to contest, obviously. Remember, a single tick, and they're getting knocked out of this tournament. Nero falls Super next. The Amp Matrix, will it be enough? Violet will pay for it with his life in the end. The Shock desperate to hold on. The res comes through, so Super will be into the fight, but I don't think that is going to be nearly enough to stave them away. A last-ditch effort now from Glister as he sends in Bob. Super and Troy still putting in a tremendous amount of work. It has evened it up into an even exchange. Surely not. Troy cancelled out of the grass. Gravitic Flux in the end. It's going to be cancelled out as he's taken out of the duplicate form. Nero might be making it work. Duplicates over to the BAP. The Immortality Field to keep them alive for just a moment. Massa so low, but a Hulk pulls them together. The Atlanta Reign, they can taste victory. They can taste it. It is so close. Nero forced out of that duplicate form again. Brought down, surely not. That will be it. The Atlanta Reign taking away the series with that win. You can see how much it meant for them, and that will be the second time the San Francisco Shock have been denied going to Hawaii and taking part in the tournaments.